lighting up?
Instead of doing the same thing, it turned green, then it did the same thing.
Say, okay, leave it. Don't hit it again. Say testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, hit it again and see.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, say it again.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Where's Marshall Pot? He's not upstairs, is he?
He left. I think he's at work. I think he's coming.
Okay. Say it again.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, there it is. That's good. There. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm on it, but we gotta get the sound now. Let's see if the sound is coming up there. Say it again.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Say it.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right, then we good. Shalom, warrior.
Shalom.
Straighten the chairs out. Okay. Straighten the chairs out, Baba Kushar. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham for the brothers. Yahweh Shema Elathah Hashem Yahweh Hashai for the sisters. This is the Friday High Desert class. I'm Police Officer Shadarak, and we're going to go into a topic today. My topic today is going to be, does God hate and why? Hate. A lot of people, think to the contrary. Okay, Salaki. I'll be right back.
Hello, Shalom, sis. Hi, man. Which one?
Now you see. Oh, yeah, on the other side.
Let me touch you, young man. Get up for me. Thank you.
There you go. Okay, once again, this is the Friday High Desert class, ISUPK. Priest Officer Shadrach, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Shabarakatham for the brothers, Yahweh Shema, Elathaba Hashem Yahweh Shah for the sisters. Today's topic, we're going to go into, does God hate? And if so, why? Does God hate? And if so, why? Teachers will teach you and tell you that, God loves everybody. Christ loves everybody. They love everybody. Everybody love, and love. Now, wouldn't that be a nice way to be in this world? It really would. I don't disagree, but nevertheless, we need to know the truth. We need to know what's in this Bible. See, this Bible was written for us to read, for our edification, for our learning. The King James Version Bible, this happens to be a 1611 because it has the Apocrypha in it. That's what that means. When you have 1611, it means the Apocrypha is in it. So this is the only book we need to use as far as referring to what the Most High said and what we should do. And however, there are other books like this one. A lot of you out there do know the From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph Windsor speaks of the fall of Jerusalem. See, so when you add truth to the truth, then you have the whole truth. Then you start, peeling away the layers of doubt, the things you didn't know, and all those things. And that's why we're here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the commanding General Yohana. We're here to educate our Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians of what the real truth is, the whole truth. Because, it's not no hard fact that we came here, our ancestors came here in chains. They came here across the transatlantic slave trade. They came here in a belly of ships, all defecating, urinating, and throwing up, bleeding on each other. Women's menstrual cycles, it was horrible. That has never happened to any other nation. Nevertheless, ain't the reason why we so jacked up. That's one of the reasons. There's more reasons, and I'm gonna go over them. First, I want to get Romans 9 and 13.
Romans chapter 9, verse 13.
Read.
And the sixth angel sounded.
No. Romans, not Revelations. Romans. All right. We're gonna go to Romans chapter 9 and verse 13, and we're gonna chop this up. We're gonna find out what's going on. I'm gonna get some current events on what's been going on in this Stacey Dash thing. What's going on with what's the names I got here? There was some type of argument on TV. It was between Sharon Osbourne and Underwood is her last. Cheryl Underwood, right? Cheryl Underwood was a co-host on the show, and I think it was I don't know if it was the talk. I got to find out. She was a co-host on the show, and they got into an argument. But I'll bring that up later. You got it? You got it out? Go ahead, read.
Romans 9 and 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved.
As it is written. What does as it is written mean, young man? Go ahead. It already happened, right? Which is true. But what does it mean biblically also? Real easy. As it is written. You answered it last week. I'm coaching you. Okay, for time's sake, we're going to say as it is written means it was written in the Old Testament. It was written with Deuteronomy, Genesis, all those, those Old Testament books. So whenever you see a scripture when it says as it is written, that means it's already recorded in the Old Testament. Okay. Continue to read.
But Esau have I hated.
Go to the top. Let's go to the top of the scripture. Read it and concentrate.
Romans chapter 9, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
As it is written,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
There you go. Okay, so as it is written, it was written in the Old Testament. It was already done. We're reading in the New Testament. He said, Jacob have I loved, and he is God, the Most High God, whose Hebrew name is Yahweh. That's his Hebrew name, Yahweh. Yahweh said, as it is written, it's already been written in the Old Testament, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So now you telling me these Christian churches saying there's nothing in the Bible. Well, I'm right at the scripture right now in the New Testament. And it's like I said, this was, well, like it, not, don't take what I say, but like it's written, it was written in the Old Testament. So now we know that the Most High said he loved Jacob. Who's Jacob? He does love somebody. Who's Jacob? Go ahead, young man.
Israel.
And who is Israel?
Jacob.
And who is Jacob? You know that you're gonna be like, oh. He's gonna be like, oh. You know,
Father of 12 lost tribes.
say it louder. Don't be, there you go, say it.
The father of 12 lost tribes.
And who are the 12 lost tribes? It's Israel, you're right. It's the father of the 12 tribes, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay. That's who Jacob is. The Lord said he loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's the tribe of Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. Rachel and Leah were his wives. And he had sons also from his wife's handmaid, Bilhah and Zilpah. 4 women gave Jacob 12 boys. That's why we, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, teach you about multiple wives. It is not a sin to have multiple wives. We were just Americanized, which is another reason why the Lord hates Esau, because Esau stole that from us. Our oppressor stole that during the transatlantic slave, and afterwards, and whatever, he made sure we didn't know who in the hell we were as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He didn't know that our original tongue was Hebrew. Our original tongue was Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakatah, Yahweh Shema Elatah Shem Yahweh Shah. You know, these things we're supposed to know. These things were taken and stripped from us, just like they stripped the Native Indians, who are also the tribe of Israel. They're Gad in the Bible. They stripped them by sending them to border schools and making them cut their hair, you know what I mean? And then giving them these uniforms to wear. And we all know Native Indians wear they wear the fringes like we do. That's how we know that they children of Israel. They wear what we do. I got my fringes on right now because that's also a commandment of the Most High. Now I'm getting off a little bit on the hate part, but the point being is that they stripped us of our knowledge. See, Jacob was one of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These were the patriarchs, which is the fathers of who the Lord made the covenant with. The Lord made a covenant. He made that agreement, that agreement that I'm going to give you as many children as on the seashore. You won't be able to number them. He made the covenant that you will be in my kingdom. The Lord will, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will be in the kingdom of the Most High God, along with the 12 tribes, the remnant of the 12 tribes of Israel, which means the remainder of. Because some of us say, I may not get through this, but the Lord wish you, and I do too. He wished that all of us get through all of this, but in some cases it's written there may not be all of us, but there still be a remnant, so we can start over again. So, with that being said, he said we finished. Any more on that? All right. So now let me get this other scripture. Let's go to Malachi 1:1. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1. You know, all your life you thought you were supposed to love everybody. Well, today you're gonna learn something. If you're in this class, you're gonna learn something about that. And you need to know this because this comes out the Holy Bible. Can't no man dispute this. You know, it's even written. You're not even supposed to add or take away from this Bible. You got it?
Fine.
Read.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi.
Continues 1 through 4.
I have loved you, saith the Lord. He's
speaking to somebody who he loved. Again, read.
Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Esau and Jacob, by the way, were twins. They were twins in the womb. Rebecca had two baby boys in her womb. And it's written in scripture that they were fighting in that womb. So I guess there was some hate down there too. You know what I'm saying? They were fighting in that womb. I want to see if I could probably find that scripture as well. Continue.
Saith the Lord, yet I love Jacob.
Yet I what?
Yet I love Jacob.
All right. Yet I love Jacob. Continue.
Verse 3, and I hated Esau.
Oh, there go that word again, that ugly word again. They call hate. There's that ugly word. Read.
And led his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons.
He laid waste his mountains and his heritage. The mountains in the Bible means governments. Governments. It can mean mountains, but it also means governments because the Bible is written metaphorically. It's written as a metaphor. It's not always like straight away what you read. Okay. So, laid his mountains to waste, right? Continue. Just go up to verse 4 and then that's it.
Verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. We are impoverished.
Right, impoverished, which means we're getting poor. We're impoverished, just like blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are. We're impoverished, so they don't have no money. They don't have much of resources. Read. And more importantly, the Lord did that to them. See, the Lord made them impoverished. Read.
But we will return and build the desolate places.
The desolate places. All those places that the Lord destroyed, they're going to rebuild. Well, you got America now. You got the SpaceX. You got all these shopping centers, these malls, these great banks, these businesses, the greatest city, America, the golden city and all of that, Chicago, Illinois, everything. And our oppressor, our enemy, because we were enemies with our oppressor since the womb, has rebuilt, said that they're impoverished, but they're going to rebuild again. Because the Lord hated them. And the reason why the Lord hated Esau, one of the reasons, besides taking our culture and our language, is that he basically had a bloodthirst against us, became bloodthirsty, which means that he wanted to kill us. Esau always wanted to kill Jacob, and he's still continuing to kill Jacob. Henceforth, we got Sandra Bland, we got Philando Castile, we got Eric Garner, we got Kai Gurley, we got Ahmaud Arbery, we got Rayshawn Brooks, we got Breonna Taylor. Many of our people are getting killed by the bloodshed of our oppressor. All right. Okay, so we finished verse 4. Now, let's go down to Psalms 139. Psalms 139 and verse 19. Psalms 139.
Psalms 139, verse 19. Surely thou wilt slay the weak.
The wicked.
The wicked, O God, depart from me. Therefore, ye blood men.
Depart from me, ye bloody men. Surely thou shalt slay the wicked, right? What does slay mean? Go ahead. Kill, exactly. See, we're caught up in a whirlwind of being put to sleep. We'll put to sleep being, in these churches, in the Muslim mosque, and we're not even Arab people. You're not an Arab. You're a so-called African American, so-called. I use that term very loosely because you can't be two white people. Because America stands for Amerigo Vespucci, which is a white man. African is Leo Africanus, which is a white man, because the custom back in the ancient times was when you came and conquered the land, you named it after yourself after you destroyed that land and took it for yourself. So Amerigo Vespucci, there's your America, and your Leo Africanus. I could never be African American, but that's what I say, so-called. That's why I use that term very loosely. And Negro and black, because black ain't nothing but a color. Black is a color. You're not that color. We're shades of brown. I mean, so surely he will slay the wicked. Of course, the Lord's going to kill the wicked. See, this is not a nursery rhyme book, a book for, fairy tales, and we dance off and skip off to heaven. You got a lot of women do that. They meet their Prince Charming and they dance off like that. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes that doesn't happen, because everybody knows you got to work on relationships. You got to work on it and make it right. Okay. So, and with the Bible, this is not relationships. This is life. This is the past. This is the present. And this is the future, all in this book, because the Most High God wanted us to know this. This book is only, I stress, only for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is our Constitution as a nation, not the Constitution in the White House. This is our Constitution. These are the laws, statutes, and commandments that we need to come back to so that we can be a nation again. And you'll learn that here in the ISUPK. Okay, so continue on verse 20.
For they speak against the wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain.
That's right. The Lord has enemies. I got Luke in here. I'll put Luke in here also. The Lord has enemies. And this is actually, does anybody know who's talking here in Psalms? Who's speaking in the book of Psalms? Well, I tell you, David, King David, the same one that this is his seal right here, the Dawadah Magun, which means shield. Shield, Dawadah is David. That's his name. Magun is shield. This is not the star of Jerusalem. It's not the star of Israel. This is the Dawadah Magun in the Hebrew. Okay. This is David talking, saying this. See, David used to use this to seal his letters. It's a seal, like you got the seal of California, and it seals. They use wax. You see it in them old movies. They use the wax and they seal it. They say send the messenger to take that letter to somebody, and they break that wax and open up the letter and see who it was. That's what David used this for. It also is the symbol of David's throne, the throne of David, the same throne that Christ is coming back to sit on when he comes to save us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right. We need to save it. We need to save it above all the nations, man. And that's why the Lord put those laws, statutes, and commandments with us, because he wants us to come back to him. And he knows that in these later days, we're going to need a savior, which is Christ, Yahushua in the Hebrew. Okay. So let's see where we at. So the Lord has enemies, and they speak wickedly against the Most High, of course. Let's go to verse 21.
Verse 21. Do not I hate them.
Okay. Say that one more time.
Do not I hate them.
This is David, King David, saying, do not I hate them? David saying that. Now you got the Most High said he hate Esau. Now you got David saying he hates the men that speak wickedly against the Most High God. He hates the men. You know what I'm saying? The enemies of the Lord as well. So these are enemies. You speaking against the Most High, you his enemy. You are his enemy. Okay. Continue.
O Lord, that hate thee.
Okay. So it's do not I hate them, O Lord. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. Don't I hate them, Lord, that hate you? I hate them that hate you. In other words, I'm on your side. I hate them that hate you. because you're the most high God of the universe, the most high God of everything that ever existed. Okay, continue.
And am not I grieved with those that rise up against me.
David is like, here, see that, and I grieve with them that rise up against you. I'm grieved at them. He's grieved at these people that rise up against the Lord. It grieves them, just like it grieves us when we see our brothers and sisters joining on to these other nations and trying to be like them, or our brothers and sisters going against and hurting each other. You understand? It grieves us in the ISUPK. You know, the priests and prophets here, we know the truth. It grieves us because that's going against the Lord. That's going against, there will never be a nation if we continue off in this way. Never be a nation. We have to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. We have to come back to his truth. We have to come back to stop not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. We got to stop eating that unclean meat. That's not meant for Israelite. There's a dietary law in the book of Leviticus that tells us that. That's why we got high blood pressure and diabetes so much above all the other nations, because we stepped away from the Lord's holy statutes, his holy commandments. We stepped away from the Lord. See? So we're grieved when we see the enemies of the Lord come up against us, man. Continue.
I hate them with perfect hatred.
With what?
With perfect hatred.
Say it again.
I hate thee with perfect hatred.
I hate them with perfect hatred. There is such a thing as perfect hatred. But you got to know what you're hating, why you're hating it. It better not be unrighteous. It has to be righteous. Okay? So, shalom. Shalom. So you got to know what you hate, what you hate and why you're hating them. You got to know that you got to stand with the Lord first. You can't just be sitting there just blatantly hating somebody. Okay. So like we're recording. We're recording. So here, have a seat, sir. The water. No. Please sit here. Men sit on this side and sisters sit on this side. Thank you.
I'm an evil person.
Okay. Just hold on. We'll be all right. Okay. So this is the reason why we David said he hates with a perfect hatred. Okay. I count them mine enemies. The Lord said he count them his enemies. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me get we at 24. Continue reading. We're gonna go down to 24.
I count them mine enemies.
I count them my enemies. Okay, Salaki. Okay. So his enemies. Okay.
Try me and know my thoughts.
So that's the thing. You know, the Lord wants David wanted to be tried. He wanted to be, search my heart, see if I'm wicked. Let me put me through the test, because I don't want, showing that he's righteous, because he don't want to be wicked. So he wants to be tested as well, by the Lord. He's saying, Lord, if I'm wicked, search my heart. And the heart is your mind. In the Bible, the heart is your mind. Okay. And those things is what he wants him to search out. So, like he said in verse 22, I hate them with a perfect hatred. And he says, I count them mine enemies. Okay. Now we're going to drop that. Now let's go to Psalm 147 and verse 19. Psalm chapter 147 and verse 19.
Psalms chapter 147 verse 19.
Okay. Go ahead.
He sheweth his word unto Jacob.
He shows word unto Jacob. All right. Continue.
His statutes
Mm-hmm.
and his judgments unto Israel.
Mm-hmm. And just like what we were talking and saying, that he showed his law, his word unto Jacob, his statutes and commandments. See what I'm saying? Excuse me, my brother. Please sit on this side, please. All right. Now, go ahead, continue.
Verse 20. He has not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known.
All right. He has not dealt so with any nation. He hadn't dealt with any nation, right? So his judgments and all of his statutes, he gave it to Israel. He didn't deal with no other nations. You know, they always say everything is like conclusive, all conclusive. Everybody gonna go to heaven. Everybody black, white, Chinese, green, purple, orange, blue. You know, that's a lie. Because right here, the Lord said he showed his statutes and his commandments to Israel. Okay. He hath not dealt so with any nation. All right. Continue.
Praise ye the Lord.
Praise ye the Lord. As for his judgments, they have not known them. That's the part I was trying to get with. As of his judgments, they have not even known them. You understand? They haven't even known them. You know? So this is why we say that the Lord is for Israel and Israel only. You see what I'm saying? That's why, you know, shalom. And he basically is making that point. No other nations know my law, statutes, and commandments. And the Lord says he shows his word to Jacob. So let's continue with verse 20, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse
6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
And let me make it clear that this is the Old Testament. This was already written. Deuteronomy is in the beginning of the Bible. Damn near the first three out of the first three is part of the Torah, what they call the Torah, the teaching. Okay. So the Lord said this, that for thou art a holy people. He's speaking to Jacob. He said he loved Jacob. As blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we don't think we're holy. We got a lot of self-hatred going on. Some things that we have to deal with and things that we don't know that we should be dealing with. And so the Lord hates Esau for that, because all these things that's happening to us, it's not our fault. It's Esau's fault, our oppressor's fault, that these things have happened to us, that we don't know that we're a holy people. And I'm going to get the scripture that also tells you that Israel don't know that it's Israel. Israel does not know that it's Israel. Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord chose Israel to be a special people unto himself. He said, these are my people. You understand? These are my people, special people. You know what I'm saying? It's all right, sis. We be having the kids in there all the time. It's okay. Do what he do. All right. So he's a special people unto himself. He chose Israel. He chose Jacob. He chose the 12 tribes of Israel. Abraham he chose. Isaac he chose. Jacob he chose. 3 forefathers. And out of those children, that's where we came from. That's who we came from. So the Lord chose us for him. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Continue.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
All right. So holy is what? What does holy mean?
Separate.
All right. I see you waking up now. Separate. Exactly. So holy, we're a holy people. We're a separate people, which means we're not even supposed to be joining all these different other nations and trying to get into all these other religions. We're a holy people, a separate people unto the Most High God. And he has chosen us above other people. And it is a good reason why you got the Proud Boys, you got them storming the Capitol, these white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, killing people, 30,000 bodies. Here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we've been labeled a hate group under the Southern Poverty Law Group, which we got a lawsuit against them because that was nonsense and that was a lie, because we don't have no bodies. We don't kill people over here. But we will defend ourselves. Understand? We're not going to have a Dylan Storm Roof jump up and shoot everybody up in here. Okay. Now, this is the other thing. Let's go to I'm gonna save that one for me. Let's go to Jeremiah 44:4. Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 4. Yeah, verse 4.
Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 4. Howbeit, I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable.
There you go. When he said it slow, abominable
thing that I hate.
See, so this is the prophet Jeremiah saying that he sent the prophets out. He sent the prophets and he told them, do not sending them. So like he said, do not do this thing, this abominable thing that I hate. I'm just using this as the word that he said that the man did say. The man said hate. Jeremiah hated too. Don't do this abominable thing that I hate. All right. Let's go to Numbers chapter 10 and verse 35. Numbers chapter 10 and verse 35.
Numbers chapter 10 and verse 45.
Okay, but Salaki, I said Jeremiah. I stand corrected a little bit on this. I believe this is the Most High saying this when he said back to Jeremiah 44:4. Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not do this abominable thing that I hate. That's the Lord saying that. Okay. All right. You got it?
Numbers 10 and 44.
No. Numbers 10 and 35.
Numbers chapter 10, verse 35. And it came to pass when the ark set forward, what Moses said, rise up, Lord, and let thy enemies be scattered, and let them that hate thee flee before thee.
See, so now it came to pass. Moses said this. This is the Lord. He said, Moses said, rise up, Lord, and let the enemies be scattered, and let them that hate thee flee before thee. So let your enemies flee before you, run away, because they hate you. You know. So this is another example of hate in the Bible. This is another example, you know. And then Now, God, the Most High God sounds racist, but I have news for you. He is racist. That's why when we read Deuteronomy 7:6, he said, thou art a special people. I have chosen thee above all people. Above, not below, not in the middle, not joining hands in hands, but above all people. That's how strong we are as a nation. You know, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are strong. You wouldn't even have an NBA, a basketball team without LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Slick Watts, that's old school. Oscar Robinson, that's old school, right? Dr. J, old school. NFL, same thing. What about the NFL, National Football League? You didn't have a good football team, good game if you didn't have the brothers on the field. Okay. Everybody knows O.J. Simpson. You know Jim Brown. What's his name? Strahan. And see, these sports writers and these people are actually running the NBA. Would be the NFL also. And then let's go to boxing. Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Louis. You understand? The first black heavyweight, Jack Johnson. We're strong people. That's how he made Israel. The Lord made Israel strong. But because we walked away from these laws, statutes, and commandments, we don't know what to do, how to be in this society, because we don't know that we need to get closer to the Lord. The closer that we get to the Most High, the quicker we'll have the quicker we'll have our heritage. The quicker we'll be a nation again. The quicker we'll have another Black Wall Street where they had schools, lawyers, teachers, doctors, bankers. You understand? People, professional people, men that are respectable in the community. And it won't be no more of this, I hate you because you just like me. I don't like you because you just like me because you wear this or you wear that. That's nonsense. That's nonsense, and the Lord hates that. Okay? But the Lord does hate. And it's a lie for somebody to tell you that the Lord does not hate. Okay? Now I'm going to go to Amos 5 and 10. In the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 10. Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. They hate him that rebuke in the gate, and they that abhor him that speaketh unrightly. Okay. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. This is speaking of wicked people. They hate you when you're upright and you're being righteous, and they just into their little nonsense, and they're hating and their selfishness and all the things that they do against their people, but against the Most High God. Okay, so that's another example of hate in the Bible. Let me get that. Let's go down to verse 15. Amos 5 and verse 15. Here's a good one right here. Amos 5 and verse 15. Give y'all a minute. Okay, for time's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and read it. It says, hate the evil. Yeah, hate the evil. Anything that's evil, hate that. You understand? Because that's evil. It tells you right there. Hate the evil. Okay? And love the good. Love the good, but hate the evil. And the only way it's going to be evil is if somebody's doing it. It's not just evil in the sight of just osmosis or something. It has to be somebody doing that. Somebody being wicked. So that's good. You hate that person being wicked. That person is blocking you from the truth. That's the person that the Lord hates. And how you can tell is when they don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments of God, but even more importantly, just as importantly, the brotherhood. They don't have brotherhood. They're not trying to uplift that other brother, and likewise. That's why it says hate the evil and love the good and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Lord God of hosts will be gracious upon the remnant of Joseph. Now, I didn't say Jacob, it said Joseph, but was Joseph an Israelite? Right? Sis, was Joseph an Israelite? That's right. Joseph was an Israelite. Joseph's brothers, right? It was 12 of them. So that's Jacob's son, Joseph, right? Because out of him, you have Ephraim, which are Puerto Ricans, and you have Manasseh, which is done. Those are his two sons. Joseph had two sons. And they didn't call him Joseph, they called it the tribe of Ephraim and the tribe of Manasseh. And Ephraim is the key tribe, was the key tribe in the northern kingdom of Israel. Just like Judah, which is your Negro, was the key tribe over the southern kingdom. See, that's why the Lord said he's going to bring Ephraim and Judah back together, which he's going to bring blacks and Hispanics back together. Because we got to stop all that hating and stuff and understand. When you talking about them, you talking about your brother. And more importantly, you talk about God's children. It's like you're God's children if you're black or Hispanic or Native Indian. So it says, hate the evil, love the good, establish judgment in the gate, that it may be the Lord God of hosts that will be gracious unto the remnant. Remember the remnant, what's ever left of Joseph too. What's ever left of the 12 tribes of Israel. And the Bible also says, he who endures to the end will he grant to be in the kingdom of the Most High. You have to endure. We've endured slavery. So that it ain't like you can't do it. It ain't like when they said government shutdown, what we worried about? We've been having a government shutdown. It's called the EBT card. It's called prison. It's called abortions. It's called not having enough money. It's called making sure that you stretch the soup. Making sure that you have enough bread, or you ain't got enough bread, you better split it wisely so that we can live for tomorrow. You understand? That's government shutdown. We've been shut down while our oppressors are going on these fine vacations and having stocks and bonds in the banks and having land and cars, all the things that you want. We've been under that oppression, but I have the good news to you that's going to end. You already see the plague is here. COVID-19 is here. The plagues of the Bible. The plague in Egypt, we were slaves from Egypt and slaves in America. From Egypt to America, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man have been slaves. We've been slaves to Egypt under Pharaoh. We've been slaves in the Assyrian Empire. We've been slaves in Babylon under King Nebuchadnezzar. We've been slaves in the Roman Empire when Christ was here. You understand? We've been slaves in Greek under the Grecians, and we've been slaves in America. And the thing is, that plague is here, just like the Lord sent plagues for us to get out of Egypt when we would follow Moses, when we were building the pyramids. He sent plagues. He sent flies. He sent darkness. He sent locusts. He sent frogs. He said that when he sent the darkness, when he sent that plague darkness, that darkness had a sound to it. A sound to it. Damn near split your ears. That was terrible. We serve a most high. I serve the most terrible, fiercest, powerful God of the universe. Power in the universe, because there's no other gods. Yahweh is the only one. The only one. So there were 10 plagues. They turned the river. They turned the river red. If you saw the movie Moses, you understand? He sent lice. He sent the locusts, the frogs. Imagine 1,000 million billion frogs around you. You know how that smell when they start dying? Because you got so many, they probably smothering on the top of each other, getting killed, and then you got to smell that. All that you had to smell while we were in Egypt, because Moses said, let my people go, thus saith the Lord. Understand? Just like now, COVID, let my people go. A lot of us had rest time even during this COVID too. from these slaveries, these are jobs. See, because these people hate us. Our oppressor hates us, man. You know, that's why they had the movies, Mandingo, Roots, 12 Years a Slave, you know, and many others. You understand? So there is hate in the Bible, and it's high time we as Blacks and Hispanics understand that and come to grips with that. I'm gonna show you a good reason to come to grips with it as well. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. Go ahead if you got it. Well, hold on, sisters. You guys, sis? Okay, sis, you got it?
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1.
Okay, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a reason and a time to every purpose.
Wait, go back on that. Go back on that. Read it at the top.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season.
A season. So there's a season for everything. There's winter, fall, summer, you know, and what else? Spring, right? There is a season for everything. And by the way, before we even get into Ecclesiastes, who wrote that book, Ecclesiastes?
Solomon.
There you go. Solomon, get that young man a hand. I tell you, when he wake up, he'll be all right. All right. Ecclesiastes, that's right. Solomon. And who was Solomon? Who you want me to answer that question? Who was Solomon? The wisest man in the world. The Lord said there'll be no man wiser before him and no man wiser after him. That's how important this is. And he said there's a season for everything. Like it's a time, like, you know, we got a saying too, you know, us in the hood, we see, that's how you know we Israel too, because it's a time for every damn thing. We say that sometimes, you know, it's a time to do this. Go ahead, let's continue with it. It's time to do that.
And a time to every purpose.
Every purpose.
Under the heaven.
That's right, under the heavens, which is on the earth. There's a time for everything under the heavens, for every purpose, right? In other words, for everything you got to do, there's a time for it. Sometimes it's not a time to be speaking. Sometimes it's not a time to be quiet. But we're going to get into it. Go ahead.
Verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So you could hit the seeds, throw the seeds down. It's a time to plant, make that corn, and then there's a time when that corn grows up, and it's a 6-foot stalk, and then it's time to take that and start plucking that corn off, so you can go and take it to your house and eat and sell the rest, you know, and leave some for the poor, because that's what Israelites do. We leave some for the poor. It's called gleaning. When you glean, and the Bible says Ruth did that. In the book of Ruth, she did the gleaning, because it's a custom with us, and it's a law with us that when we got so much corn, whatever we drop during that time, we don't pick it up. We let the poor come and take that corn. That's called gleaning. You understand? So Israel will take care of Israel. That's why it's a sin. It's a sin not to be a brother to your brother, not to be a sister to your sister. That's a sin. You understand? That's wrong. Israel took care of the poor. Our government won't do it now. We're oppressed now. Stimulus checks gonna last but so long. They could have been giving us a stimulus check, but they gave the Jews. I had this last
I got it written down. And Obama did this thanks to your so-called black president. I say so-called because he was an African. Blacks are not African. We're Israelites. That's why they don't even mess with us. You know why? They don't even mess with you. And why? Because we them children that came out of bondage. That's why they call us copper, cotton picker. That's why they call us that. And if you do the history on real slavery, when they came through, those slaves were sold by Africans, as well as Jews, as well as Arabs, as well as the Portuguese. Okay. So, you know, we get this little stimulus check, right? What, $1,400? Well, Obama gave the Jews 12 million. Obama gave the Jews 12 million. And Germany, 9 billion. Not a piece, but as a nation, that's still a lot. Billions. That's going to be more than thousands that you get. All right. And then he gave the Japanese heirs 1.25 billion. The ones that went through Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that war when they dropped the H bomb, they got 1.25 billion. And remember, we already came here before that happened. That was World War II. I mean, yeah, was that Vietnam, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, World War II? Right. That was World War II. Okay. 3-year Holocaust. For a 3-year Holocaust, them Jews, they got burnt in the ovens. Also, they still got another $160.65 billion. And you getting happy over stimulus check? Don't be too damn happy, because you still have to all the thousands. That little bit of thousand ain't even all the thousands. That's only 1,000. They're giving us pennies. That's how much Esau hates you. Esau hates us, man. And I'm gonna go into some current events that happened. There was 2 co-hosts in the show. I got it right here. This show was The Talk, right? The Talk. Sharon Osbourne apologized for supporting Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan said this about, you know, the Markle, who what's her name? Meghan Markle, the wife of the British king or the British prince. Remember, she's half black, supposedly half black. Meghan Markle, because they put her up in the Buckingham Palace, and she said that she felt racism because they had a baby, and the baby is one shade darker than them, one shade darker, and they hate her to oblivion. She said she's the one that said she said she was gonna commit suicide. Well, this dude, what's his name, Piers Morgan, said she could have won an Oscar for what she did. Now, mind you, Meghan Markle is not Israel. She got a black mother. To be an Israelite, you have to have a black father. You have to have a Hispanic father. You have to have a Native Indian father to be one of us. Okay? Meghan Markle, just because she has a black mother, doesn't mean she's Israel. But the world is taking it that way. See what I mean? So that's the stage, because we don't know the law, statutes, and commandments. I mean, well, Jake's in the world don't. We know it here in the Israelite School, UPK, but they don't know what constitutes the race of Israel. What makes you an Israelite? What makes you an Israelite is your blood-born daddy. Your blood-born daddy was a nigga. Then guess what? You from the tribe of Judah, the same tribe that Christ and Solomon came from, and David came from, and Jesse and Joseph. Understand? And many more in the Bible. That's why I said this is our book. Okay. So Meghan Markle said she wanted to commit suicide because she felt the heat. You understand? She felt the heat of being in Buckingham Palace, which is lily white. It's lily white, just like your churches too. Lily white. She felt that, and she said she felt like and I might be inclined to believe her. But this man here said Piers Morgan slammed her, said she could have won an Oscar for the best supporting actor, Meghan Markle. You understand? I'm like, so there was a controversy with Sharon Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne and what's her name? Underwood, right? Cheryl Underwood. They got on TV and they were just talking. They talked about the subject because this lady who was our oppressor, Sharon Osbourne, said that she supports Piers Morgan in him saying that she won an Oscar, that she was lying. He don't believe that she was committing suicide because of all the racism that she felt at Buckingham Palace in England. Okay, under the royal family. All right. So now they started talking about it on a talk show, and she got mad. Osbourne blew a gasket. She said Cheryl Underwood was kind of crying because they were friends, and while they would talk about it, it just came on the set. It just just a conversation that took on the form of its own. And she started the sister, our sister Underwood, Cheryl Underwood. She definitely is Israelite. You look, I mean, not just always look, but you know who Israelite is. We know who our people are. And she started crying, because we love these other nations so much that we're gonna cry about it. To me, that part was wrong. She shouldn't have shed a goddamn tear. All right. But this devil, this oppressor, got highly animated and angry at her for even coming up with that. It said she was faking. Okay. Now you can go on the internet and look under Sharon Osbourne on the movie called The Talk. On the show called The Talk, and look up like Cheryl Underwood and why they got into that argument. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like why it wasn't an argument, but it was like why did our sister get slammed like that? You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. You could say you're racist, Salaki. You could say that you're not racist, but you know what? Your actions show, right? It's an action. As I'm sure as the sisters know, y'all look at action. See what I'm saying? You say this, prove it. You understand? And then we in Israel, UPK, we think the same damn way. Action show. Are you going to do like with us? Are you going to come to camp? Are you going to pay your tithes? Are you going to be with us in these high holy days? Are you going to participate? Are you going to be there consistently? Not just one day hit a quitter. You're going to be there consistently. Are you showing the Lord your reverence? Just like when you pray the same thing, you got to be consistent. Okay. So her actions, she did this based on her actions. And the sister was trying to be quiet. That's what tripped us out a little bit. She was like, I didn't say that you were racist. I just said that you supporting him makes it look like you're racist. You see what I'm saying? Because she supported him in that action. But she took to a whole nother level, which the devil came out in her. In other words, her real personality, because the devil is not your boogeyman under the ground that's red. The devil's right here on earth with us, walking amongst us, living with us. A lot of us that know the truth love the devil and will do anything to look good in front of the devil and protect that devil, those devils, or whoever they are. Understand? So that's been a heated conversation. It got to a heated conversation. I'm trying to find it on my phone, but my phone is a little bit active in this area, but it will. But it will. We got to understand that's why this is another reason why the Lord hates. You see why the Lord hates? It's just a little tiny example, a little tiny reason why the Lord hates. You see what I'm saying? It's because of what they've done to us. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go to another story that I have definitely documented. We're gonna go to Stacey Dash. We're gonna go to Stacey Dash. Now I liked her back in the day when she came out with Enemy Territory, way back, older movie back in the 80s called Enemy Territory. It was about two street gangs, and she was running from them, right? you. Let him prophesy. Okay, so Stacey Dash wants to come back to cookout. Y'all know what that means, right? She want to come back to the goddamn cookout. She left the cookout where she said, I support Trump. I support what Trump said when them dudes in Charlottesville went and had a violent event up there with those. They had those candles. They all had them candles walking with them and stuff. Okay? And she basically said Trump didn't say anything wrong. Trump said these are both sides are fine people. You're fine people. And then he said she praised him on his charges of being racist based on his comments of the incident, right? So now Trump left office. He ain't the president no more. And then on top of that, they stormed the Capitol. So now she changes, she flipping switch. She's flipping sides because she knows that the Proud Boys, which they were, the Proud Boys and the other white supremacists was the one that stormed the Capitol in the first place. That was them. That wasn't our fight. That wasn't what we do. That shows you that this nation is going back to being divided like it was when you had the North fight the South. You know, back in that day. Okay. See, she's singing, like I said, she's singing a different tune now. She's doing damn near the same thing she's doing the same thing close to what's that other one that said that stuff? And she's another actor, short like her and everything. What's her name again? Yeah, short, you know, sister. I used to like both of them. Jada Pinkett. Right? I woke y'all up on that. Jada Pinkett out. And it's like they going against us. You know, they were supposed to, when they first came, they was all hood. She was in the movie Enemy Territory, 2 street gangs. She was running from it. She was living in the projects. Stacey Dash. You know, movie, but still, now she's became a conservative Republican. She became a conservative Republican, y'all. All right. So she apologized for her incendiary remarks because she pulled out all stops. She made sure everybody knew that she did not like blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, might as well say all of us, because she changed. First, she was with Obama in the beginning. Say how twisted this is. She was with Obama in the beginning, and then about, I think, what was it? About four years later, all of a sudden she goes with Mitt Romney, a Republican. I'm a Republican now. Mitt Romney, you know? Unbelievable. So Trump left office and she's singing a different tune. In an interview with the Daily Mail, she apologized for her incendiary remarks and denounced Trump. All of a sudden, she denounces Trump. I thought you liked Trump. I thought you said, forget it. I'm not being ghetto fabulous no more. I'm gone. I'm a Republican. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I was the angry and conservative black woman. I met many angry and, you know, black women, but she said she was the angry conservative black woman. And why would you even put it black? You might well have said that you was somebody else. Okay? That anger is unsustainable. That's right. It's unsustainable, especially when you find out that the Proud Boys that you support, that over the president's support, has stormed the Capitol. Yeah, now it's not, you can't sustain that anger no more because it don't make sense. You understand? And she said, it will destroy you. I made a lot of mistakes, she said. She backed Trump, who said that they were very fine people on both sides. You know, talk about Charlottesville. In Charlottesville, when them devils came out there with their little torches and stuff and started denouncing blacks. They started going up and getting violent about it too, on top of that. Okay. She said the image of a mob of angry Trump supporters storming the Capitol on January 16th, she said that made her see her errors. Now you want to come back to the cookout. You think we're gonna save you some barbecue sauce and some chicken? You know what I'm saying? Let alone a damn corn on the cob. You think we're gonna leave you something? By the time you get there, we're gonna leave. We'll be gone. Because we know you wasn't with us. And it's fun, you know what's kind of ironic too? She was in the show called Clueless. Clueless. That means she ain't got a goddamn clue. She ain't got a clue. You clueless. All right. At first, she put an Obama sticker on her bumper of her BMW. Boom, Obama, all the way. Even though we know Obama's African, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, in my day, I wasn't in the truth back then, and I voted for Obama because I thought he was the first black president. Come to find out, he an African, daddy from Kenya. And remember what I stated in the class, that you're an Israelite by your father. So that means all y'all that don't got no father that's black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you're not an Israelite. Okay? And I had to break your hearts. Nipsey Russell, Bob Marley, Meghan Markle, who else? Oh, the one in the presidency now. What's her name? Kamala?
Oh, yeah.
Kamala Harris, right, whose dad is from Jamaica, but they had slaves. They owned a plantation. Better watch what you serving. Watch who you're following. When you talk about somebody, know what they stand for. Study who they are. Know their genealogy. And you're going to find out there's a lot of people that did wrong to our nation that are not of our nation. You know what I mean? No. Kamala Harris, that's right. Yeah. And also, a lot of people don't know this. Frederick Douglass. Mama, not daddy. Mama. Okay. The man plants the seed in the woman and makes the blood type. Your blood type is what this book is even made up for, because in the Bible it says he begat him that begat her, that begat him, that begat him, that begat her. He that begat him. It says David, son of who? Jesse. David, son of Jesse. All right. Solomon, son of David. Okay. Christ, son of Joseph. You see what I'm saying? It's all about the seed and the bloodline. So these are the things that we need to know. Now, she also denounced slavery too. You know, Stacey Dash had the nerve to say slavery was 150 years ago. We need to forget it. And she also said that we got to stop whining and doing this and all that. And she don't even know that those laws, the Jim Crow laws, we stood up against the Jim Crow laws. We didn't just whine about it. We stood up against the segregations. We stood up against these things. We didn't whine back about it, because now you can tell that she been talking with our oppressors. She been saying, she been using their vernacular and their language. Oh, pick yourself, you know, not pick yourself up by your bootstraps, but stuff like, you know, stop whining. You're just crying about something. You need to stop whining. You're in America. You're in the richest country in the world. You don't have no complaints. Although we run around here naked, hungry, afraid, and in need of all things that we need. You know, they degentrifying the ghettos and all that. That's the reason why the Lord hates. All right. That's the reason why. Okay. Now, let me go back on this. The fans, when she went with Mitt Romney and became a Republican, the fans immediately her fans went against her, Stacey Dash. They went against her. You a Republican now? What you gonna do? Go get the cross, get the noose, and start hanging us? You know, what are you gonna do? You know? So they went against her and they asked her, why a black woman in Hollywood? Why would a black woman in Hollywood, with all the demographics, skew the Democrats and would back the conservative ticket? Why would she do that? She in Hollywood, the epitome of the Democrats, right? And then there's another thing. After Grey's Anatomy, the actor Jesse Williams spoke out against some racial injustice. He spoke out against it. On January 6, 2016, she slammed the Oscars so white controversy because we were saying that in the Oscars, you know, it's like lily white, like your lily white churches and stuff, right? And she said that's ludicrous. How could it be all white? It's ludicrous. Everybody know the Oscars is like really lily white, you know, always been for years. And called for the elimination of Black History Month and BET, the program BET. She wanted to eliminate both of them. Stacey Dash went against us as a people. Now she says she would never work for Fox News because she was a news network or be a news contributor. And then she called the Capitol appalling and what is it, stupid. When they stormed the Capitol, she said that was appalling and stupid. But she said she's not going to be no national newscaster and be no spokesman anymore. She got slammed. She slammed herself. She rolled herself up out the house. You know. So these are the reasons why. You know, these are the reasons why we need to understand that once you leave our nation and you act like that, we're gonna be very, very you know, we shouldn't even bring you back. We shouldn't bring you back. And I don't know if she's gonna come back to the cookout and somebody leave her a damn hamburger or something, or beef hot link, chicken hot link. All right. You know, a lawful hot link, not no pork hot link. Is somebody gonna bring her a hot link now? You know what I'm saying? Save us some sweet potato pie. Master Pie, you gonna save us some sweet potato pie? You know what I mean? Hell no. You know, cause you showed your true colors. You showed what you was about. Okay. And it was terrible, man. Stacey Dash was a good actor. I liked her in was it More Money? Mm-hmm. Something like that. I think it was More Money. Something about More Money when she played with the funny dudes, the funny brothers. Damon Wayans. Was it Damon Wayans? One of the Wayans brothers. Mm-hmm. All right. You know, it was cool. You know, you was cool then. You seemed to be down with us. Who? No, that wasn't Jada. That was Stacey Dash. They were in New York. And you know, she was dating an executive guy who was like a square dude. And then it was right, Keenan, right, the Wyans. Yeah. Wayans. It's right, Keenan Iron Wines and his brother played in that. So she was cool then, you know, she was part of the hood and all that, but guess what? She sold herself out. She showed how much she hated being Black. And I found out she's from my neighborhood, very close. She's from the South Bronx. Shoot, General Yohana's from the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn. And that's the 5 boroughs. How you gonna be from the hood and be Republican? How did that happen? And then how you gonna say take out Black History Month and BET? She said she wanted to eliminate it. We don't even gotta. In other words, we don't even gotta talk about you blacks. We don't even gotta acknowledge you. Dan, yeah, you might as well say that. You know, even though we don't. I'm gonna say this the right way. Not necessarily that we don't support Black History Month in the ISUPK. We are Black History Year, 365 days a year, 24/7. It's not the month. When I came from the East Coast, I was like, why do they have a Black History Month? And that's the shortest month in the year.
Thank you.
28 days. You got 20 days to acknowledge, do your history on slavery, do the people find this and that. We are a whole goddamn nation, man. We are a whole nation with a gang of history. This is the biggest history we got. The biggest history is God is what you hate, because God don't love you. He loves us. He hates you. That's what we read in Romans 9:13. Let's get on with the rest of this hatred. Okay. And also let's get, because We was in Ecclesiastes. We didn't finish that. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes. We're going to take it from the top. Ecclesiastes 3, right? 3 and 1. Let's take it there. I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have some type of hate in your heart about something, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. You understand? You should hate the evil. You should hate the sinner, because the Christian church will tell you, hate the sin and not the sinner. Then what's the point? What the hell is the point? Okay, I know there's sin. I'm just hating sin, but I see this brother over here raping this little boy. I'm not going to hate him. I see this police officer killing this brother and he's not armed. I'm not going to hate him. I'm just going to hate the act. I see them killing babies, 350,000 babies a year. Yeah, 350,000 abortions a year. Isn't that a whole nation of people? Goddamn right. And it happens to be blacks and Hispanic people and Native Indian people. That's a whole generation lost. We lost several generations just being in this land of our oppressor, just being here and experiencing his abominable acts, his wicked acts, in other words, his highly wicked acts. Okay? You got it?
5.
Read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Continue.
Verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Continue.
Verse 3. A time to kill and a time to heal.
A time to what?
A time to kill.
So there's a time to kill. Did anybody know that?
No.
All right. There's a time to kill. Damn right, there's a time to kill. Mm-hmm. What example was you thinking, sis?
When the Most High comes back.
Mm-hmm. And then also the Lord said he's going to make us hunters of men. Right now we're fishers of men. He's going to make us hunters of men. So we're going to have to take men's lives. You understand? When the Lord says so. Not now, not yet. I didn't tell nobody to go kill nobody. There's such a thing. It's a term. They call it a righteous kill. You heard that before, didn't you? They made a movie called A Righteous Kill. But they tell you don't do it. Yeah, there's a movie called A Righteous Kill. And then also, I'm going to get to a record here. It's corny, but y'all going to know. Because, of course, our oppressor is corny. Read.
There's a time to kill and a time to heal.
Mm-hmm.
A time to break down and a time to build up.
Because you know, young man, after this class, you're going to break these chairs down. You built up these chairs, didn't you, in this class, right? So after class, which you do all the time, and throw water for that, you're gonna break these chairs down, and hopefully the young man help you, and you're gonna line up against the wall. And that's just one example of many things that you're gonna have to do in life. In life, you're gonna have to build things up. Then after a while, you got to break them down, tear them down, because they're no longer needed, right? They're in the way now, right? You can't function, do something else that is profitable if you still got that stuff set up. See, that's why that book is so wise. Ecclesiastes was written by a wise man because he tells you everything. Come to ISUPK, keep listening to these shows and different priests and prophets that other than me, and learn, man. Because you're going to learn all the things that you need to become a nation again. To become a people like you always wanted. You know how you always wanted your parents to be out there at the cookout, you know, flipping themselves, and you don't want no fight. You just want everybody doing what they got to do. Imagine a whole nation like that. Because once we do, we're gonna be extraordinary, man. They ain't never gonna see nothing like us. Never. That's why God chose us. You know, we the ones that put them rims on them cars. We the ones that funk out that room. I mean, trip out that room. I said funk out the room. Yeah, we do funk out the room, but trip out the room. It's a lot, you know. And we set up that crib because we call it the crib, right? You understand? That's why the Lord loves us, because we're not literal. We're like this Bible. That's why this Bible is a black book, because it doesn't speak literal. It speaks metaphorical. I said crib, and y'all already know that's my pad, which is a thing which y'all know that's my apartment. Literal is my apartment, my crib. See, that's what the black man says. That's what we use, my pad. Come on back to the pad. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do, because we don't speak like, oh, the white person look at you. What do you mean? Your crib? You got a crib in your room? There you go sit down. You got a pad. You sleep in a pad? You know? No, dumb. We that seasoned salt. We the season of the Lord said we're the season, the salt of the earth. Without salt, it don't got no flavor. Now do it. That's why we like that flavor. Sister already know. Exactly. And so this is the reason why it's a time for everything. It's a time to do this and do that. Continue. Don't keep your finger where you was at. Continue.
Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh.
It's a time to cry and it's a time to laugh. You understand? You know that. Even the acting guild, you see laugh, cry, and frown or something on those little masks they got. It's a reason for it. It's a reason for it for you to kill. It's a reason for you to laugh. It's a reason for you to plant. It's a reason for you to break down. Reasons for it that make earthly sense. And it makes sense to the Most High, or else it wouldn't be written in this book, in the wisest book. Continue.
A time to mourn and a time to dance.
Lord, I had time mourning, boy. But mourning, yeah, gotta mourn. You need to mourn. And even in this book, it tells you, like, when, Abraham's wife died. They said, he said, we give you a time to mourn. We're going to give you 3 weeks to mourn, whatever, or 3 days or whatever it was. And then you go bury your rib. You understand? Or 3 days to mourn, you bury your father. You bury your mother. You understand? Yeah, it's important. It's important. I ain't mean him. It's important that you understand that it's time for you to cry. You got to let them tears out. You got to mourn. You don't need to talk to nobody. Even if you're not crying, you got to mourn. Let out whatever way that you do, because that's who you are. You're human. Continue. Oh wait, we said the time to dance, right? All right, y'all, we're going to the club. Let's go. You know what I mean? That's what we do as Israelites. We, at the cookout, we're gonna be dancing, ain't we? Now you imagine when Christ come back and he the Lord defends us from all our enemies. No longer do our oppressors got his foot on our neck, we got our foot on his neck. Not only now all of us is out there, just got the food. Brothers is from Texas. They got a whole bunch of beef over there, and the gang of yard birds over there, and the gang of lambs, and all the things that we're gonna partake of and pass. We're gonna dance. Matter of fact, last time we had the California cookout, and we danced. Okay, because it's time for us to dance. It's time for us to have fun, to smile, to get your groove on. Like they say, right? So now, read.
Verse 5. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to
embrace. It's a time to embrace, which means there's a time to hug. You ain't seen your folks in 2 years. Hug your peoples. We see each other. We come in there. We give each other that salute. I salute my priest. And we embrace each other, with the sisters, we embrace the sisters, we ain't seen you in a while. How you doing? How's the family been? It's good to see you. Remember last time we went over there afterwards, we had a little party. We were dancing then, right? Man, and yo, it's so beautiful. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you're ordered by God, the Most High God, Yahweh, to go to the Passover. We keep the Passover here in the Israelite School of Universal practical knowledge because the Passover is in this Bible. Christ was born, Yahweh Shai, born during Passover. Think about it. Go ahead.
And a time to refrain from embracing.
Right, and there's a time to refrain from embracing. It's not appropriate. So, you got to refrain from that embracing. It's not appropriate. Continue.
Verse 6, a time to get and a time to lose.
There's a time to get some things, like that stimulus check. Then it's time to lose. But you got to pay that. You got to pay that bill the next 2 weeks. You lost out at least 1 month. Right? Yeah, we all know about that. Or lose anything. I'm just giving examples. It's anything. With this subject, to embrace, laugh, whatever that situation is. Okay? I'm just giving examples up here as the teacher. Go ahead, continue.
A time to keep, a time to cast away.
It's a time to keep, and it's time to throw some stuff away. All right? So, I had that movie Men of Honor for too long. It's got in it. I've seen it 1,000 times. And I can get it on YouTube for free. So I gotta throw it away, right? I might as well throw it away. It's time to throw things away. That old shirt you had for 18,000 years, you like that shirt, but you gotta toss it now. You can't wear it on the street no more. It got like 5 holes in the front. Yeah, and that too. All right. Now, continue.
Verse 7, a time to rend and a time to sue.
Mm-hmm.
A time to keep silence and a time to speak.
It's a time to what?
A time to keep silence and a time to speak.
A lot of people break that law. A time to keep silent. It's time for you to be quiet right now. It's time for me to speak. I'm the judge of this courtroom. I'll hold you in contempt of court and send you to jail. So I think I might be quiet. All right. Some people don't do it and they be in cuffs and shit. Wonder why they got there. You should have shut up. Right? Or when somebody's talking and they're mourning and they're telling you what they went through, it's time for you to be quiet and listen. They just want somebody to listen. You know what I'm saying? Or a person with a problem. Right? These are just examples. There's many more. Okay, continue.
Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate.
There's a time to love and what?
A time to hate.
Oh, what?
A time to hate.
In your loud voice. What?
A time to hate.
That's right. Come. A time to hate. It's a time to love, but it's also a time to hate. I hate all of them that hate the Most High God. Let's get the Most High a hand. That's right. That's right. Understand? Because David said, just like we read in the scriptures, he said that he hates all that hate you, Lord. I hate with a perfect hatred. Show that to a Christian next time you find a Christian talk about they love everybody. Show it to their butt and let them know that what part of the Bible it is, because you got it right here. You attended class. Show them that part of the Bible. And then look at that pastor and tell him the same goddamn thing, because he's going to say the same thing. He love everybody. That's a homosexual love. Mm-hmm. Homos love everything and everybody, the birds, the trees, the plants, the olives, the this, the that. Yeah, but you got child molested when you was young, and you need to get back to being a man or a woman. You understand? And stop being that transgender crap that they showing on TV. This TV done got out the rages, man. You turn on TV, see 2 women kissing. You turn on TV, see 2 men kissing, having sex too. That's a hard look, man. That's a hard look. The Lord is against that. That's why the Lord hates. That's another reason why the Lord hates. We go to what's the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. We go to the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Why did he destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? Sexual indecency, sins, really fornication, you call it, right? Adultery, you call that, right? That's why he destroyed that place. He destroyed it with fire. You understand? So these are the reasons why it's a time, it's a season for everything. Salaki, I'm question on nice, Salaki. But it's a season for everything under the sun, right? Under the heavens, right? You read that in the beginning. Now you understand more, young man, don't you? Young men, should I say? Do you understand more of that? Okay. Pay attention and make sure that you listen to what we say here, because this is what you need to know to get yourself out of this world, because we're out of this world. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we don't think like the world. We damn near in the kingdom of the Most High God. You understand? Because I don't like homosexuality. I don't deal with transgenders. I don't eat pork, shrimp, crab. I don't smoke weed. You understand? Let's go to Luke 19 and 27. Let's go to Luke 19. That's it on that, right? Is it? Okay. Let's go to Luke chapter 19 and verse 27.
Luke chapter 19, chapter 27.
Verse 27.
Verse 27.
Read.
And he said unto him, Wilt thou, good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little
You and Luke?
time.
Luke 9, that's Luke 19?
Luke 19 and 17?
27.
Oh, 27. Luke 19 and 27. But those mine enemies, which will not that I should reign over them.
Yep, like the rain. That would rain. That's how you pronounce it, rain. Go ahead, continue.
Bring hither and slay them before me.
Right. So you know who's talking here? Who's talking? Yahweh Shai. So that's Christ. Read it again.
From top.
Yep, take it from the top.
But those my enemies,
Uh-huh.
which would not that I should reign over them.
So this is Christ saying, but those my enemies that would not, which would not that I should reign over them. What does that mean? That means, go ahead.
Like you're just straight over them, like you're watching over them.
Okay. Over them you got right, but the other part is wrong. He said reign. Remember I said reign? What does reign mean? Reign means to rule. Now read it from the top again.
But those my enemies, which would not that I should
Rule over them.
rule over them.
Right. Reign means to rule over them. My enemies who don't want me to rule over them. But they didn't know this is Christ, but they don't want him to rule over them. Read.
Bring hither and slay them before me.
He said, bring them here. Hither means here. Bring them hither and slay them before me. Slay them. Slay them before me. Understand? That's the real Bible. That's what the Bible speaks of. You understand? Just like Ecclesiastes says, a time for everything. We ain't just killing for no dumb reason. This ain't no dumb reason to be killing nobody. They don't want to follow Christ. And Christ said this. Some of y'all got that Bible where it says in red. Is that in red? Khan. That's right. Which is yes. It's written in red. So that means Christ is saying, read it in. This is what Christ is saying.
But those are my enemies, which would not that I should rule over them.
Go.
Bring hither and slay them before me.
He wanted the disciples to bring them in front of him, right in front of him, and they were going to cut all their goddamn heads off. And that's what should happen. You know? Even with what's going on in our neighborhood with these sellouts, with these gangbangers and all that. I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying the ones that's hopeless. We know that every time that you turn the corner, you're gonna shoot somebody. We need to cut your head off. Homosexual, we need to cut your head off too, because you ain't unless there's a child, you can get a chance not to be a homo or a lesbian. Understand? But you need to do that quick, hurry up and fast. Okay. If not, cut your head off. You continue smoking weed and trying to act like you know something. Because every time a weed smoker knows everything. I know, because I used to smoke a lot of weed in my day. A lot. I was a connoisseur. I was the weed doctor and the dealer too. And the thing is, I'm a dope fiend. Salaki. No, don't say that, sis. Yeah, don't worry about that. That comes from the Catholic Church, by the way. And you know I'm gonna give you a little history on that. I like to teach. I have to teach. You heard of the Bubonic Plague, the Black Plague that they had in Europe? It came from rats and mice, because all our oppressor used to go to one well to wash and draw water from the same well. We didn't do that. We cleaned people. We wait for a flowing river. You know what I'm saying? But they did it that way, right? So they got the bubonic plague, the black plague. It came from feces of mice and rats. Okay? So whenever they see somebody and they sneeze, they used to say, bless you. That's the white culture. Don't you feel good to be black in your culture now? You don't got to say all that. That comes from the Catholic Church, which is another enemy. That's our enemies, man. Okay, so where's we at? I always get mixed up on
1927.
Okay, right. So this is what we finished it. And this is what Christ was saying. He was saying that because if you don't want to, you know, we got a saying in black culture. It say you got to mind somebody. You ever heard that one? You're gonna have to mind somebody. Well, why don't you mind God? Why don't you mind Christ? Because Christ said he gonna cut your head off. And it's gonna happen anyway. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get your head cut off. I ain't gonna say it in that fashion. You're gonna lose your life in any kind of way. You might go to jail and get killed in a gang fight. You know what I'm saying? You might step in front of a car. All kind of things happen to those who don't obey. That's why we say you're gonna mind somebody. I mean, I've been also for like 20 years. And you know what? My clients that failed, the ones that didn't mind somebody, which means you didn't listen to somebody. You didn't follow their rules. You thought your rules was the joint. You thought that was the way to be. And you got killed for it. Or you got AIDS for it. Or you got prison for it. You know what I'm saying? Life without parole, 10 years of prison, 5 years of prison, you know, or you got lung cancer from smoking all that weed. You understand? Or you got diabetes from eating all that pork, all that shrimp, crab, and lobster at Red Lobster, all those pepperoni pizzas. Because pepperoni is pork, unless you got turkey pepperoni. I got turkey pepperoni. How about turkey pepperoni? If anybody ever tried that, it's bomb. And it bomb. I put it right on a pizza. That's right. It do. But you catch them. So like, if you, it's another conversation. You catch them around Thanksgiving, it'll be cheaper. I bought like 6. I had about 6 packs in there. I think last week I just emptied my last pack on my last pizza. Understand? Eat lawful. See, eat lawful. You don't get high blood pressure. You don't get cancer. You don't get prostate cancer. You don't get diabetes. You understand? Because the Lord is looking at you. There's a thing called Levitical law. The laws of Leviticus teaches you what to eat and what not to eat. If that fish don't have fin on the back of his head or no scales on his body, don't eat it. Understand? Okay. So we at 6 o'clock, right? Time. Okay, so and wrapping it up, in the essence of this is this priest officer Rock of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, under the commanding General Yohana, you know. And with that, I'm gonna say that the Lord does hate. Oh, Salaki, for one last reason, let me bring this out. there was a record called Turn, Turn, Turn. We just read the book of Ecclesiastes that said there's a season for everything, right? This is our press. I said it's a corny song. They said, with everything, turn, turn, turn. That was the white man saying that during the Vietnam War, letting you know there's a season for everything, but he don't live by what he say. Our oppressors never live by what they say. They break their own laws. And with that, brothers and sisters, I'm going to say shalom.